San Diego, some Comic-Con talk, walk around, etc. We've been in the Tin Fish area. We're actually putting a video together to talk a little bit about the shuttle route, and so that'll be a separate video later. But we did want to jump in and do this video now to take a look at what we've got going on here in the Gaslamp area. And we'll kind of look at what's open, what's not. So I'm going to flip the camera around here so you can get a better view of things as we go. So Tin Fish still open. We still anticipate it being a great spot during Comic-Con there. Likewise with the Hard Rock. Hello there. Nobu. We've had a few people reach out about that, and I think it was saying online that maybe it was closed or something like that, but they are open, and they've been opening primarily for dinner in our visits down here, and some of the time they've been adding seating actually outdoors here, which if you watch their other videos, you know there's a whole thing, and we'll get to some of those spots that have to make some decisions here about their outdoor seating and whether they're going to file permits to continue that or not. So I'm not sure if Nobu is in that boat or not, but they are open. They still exist. And in fact, some of the first ones here at the very beginning of 5th Street, likewise. So Lou and Mickey's returns and doesn't look very different, if at all different, from the last time we had Comic-Con here. But we'll notice as we get a little bit further here, a lot of things closed over here. So the eclectic fashion spot there where we've seen like Peanuts take over and Bells, Peanuts and Snoopy and all that stuff, closed down again, so it could be a good off-site location. We've still got our glasses, but then Chuck Jones Gallery is gone, the Royal Bee is gone, and then the restaurant in the corner gone as well. So 3 consecutive businesses there that no longer exist. So one way to look at it is it's all potential for off-sites during Comic-Con. In fact, some really prime real estate for Comic-Con, but also sad. I know for us, like Chuck Jones Gallery was always kind of a Comic-Con type stop, the week before Comic-Con, months before Comic-Con. It just always felt a little bit like Comic-Con there. And it is not down here in the Gaslamp anymore. Mary Jane's has returned, and they are back. I think there's going to be some cool, exciting things there as well. Now, one thing going on this weekend, and you'll see signage up here, like on the towaway zones, and then the apartments signage up there. It's the National, I think it's Apartment Association, is having a big convention here. Not a big convention in the size of Comic-Con. It's like 9,000 attendees or something like that, but a pretty big one, and they've bought out this whole street. And they even have wraps going up on the Marriott. So they're planning a big party here for the weekend for the apartments. So you'll see a lot of their banners up. Whereas the She-Hulk ones that you may have seen online, those are all up on 4th, but not over here yet. But yeah, Toscana, no longer there. They used to always kind of dress things up for Comic-Con a little bit with some superheroes and stuff. All gone. Fortunately, did not make it. We've shared it in past videos, but I know a common question is down the street there. The Subway, and Subway is still over there, although they have very limited hours right now. Would imagine that'll change during Comic-Con, but still there. Gaslamp Garage, obviously. Rockin' Baja. Now, this is one of the ones we've talked about in other videos about the external seating that they've added. And so they have until July 13th to decide what they're doing with this extra seating. They have to file a permit for the spaces for places. They are not allowed to have roofs anymore, and they're not allowed to have lighting. So they have to decide if it's going to be worth all of the money to keep this extra seating. So this may or may not be here as you come out to Comic-Con. Cerveza Jack's across the way. We've got Union Station here. All spots that we've seen be quite busy, during Fridays and Saturdays, and even today being a Monday. But with a Padres game tonight, this should all be hopping again. Sevilla, still there for the night. Now, as we come around the corner over here, take a look across the street real quick. So Happy Does, the old Gaslamp strip club, is over there, and then connecting here to what used to be Dick's Last Resort. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that's looked up the address, but I believe this is where 10 Forward is during Comic-Con, if I recall correctly. That's on our list of things to check today, so I didn't have time to look that up beforehand, but I believe that's where Star Trek is going there. Got the socks, apparel off the bench. Agora, art, jewelry, and more. The old liquor store where you always see Walking Dead stuff during Comic-Con in the window is there. Huntress. We've got that going. CVS has been fully functional as well as the Pendry. And you can see, again, if you're somebody coming from a bit away, I know we were coming out here a lot in the last couple years as there was closures, but these signs, Fifth Avenue closed during COVID, January 1st to July 13th. You can see the closures there, and that again is the question of this outdoor seating. So it would seem some of these places will have some good spots during Comic-Con for additional seating, and probably a lot of them will fade away because of the extra fees involved and the challenges of having to remove roofing and wiring and all of those things. There are some of these spots like Happy Does that have kind of come along in the latter parks. There were some really dark days here in terms of the closures in 2021, but as we're getting closer to summer, one thing different, if you watched our Seaport Village video, we've not found many in the Gaslamp that say like coming soon. Most are either like opening and going, or they just look like they're not going to be happening. So Seaport, it looks like there'll be a lot of things that we won't know until a couple days before whether they're open or not, whereas down here seems the opposite. Skechers remains, the Quicksilver store. Right there, I'm not sure what was there in between that and It's Sugar, but all covered up. We've got our crepe shop here. You can see their menu. Here we go, a couple more close spots. So we've actually been seeing a lot of painting over here. This, in fact, is actually new paint. Hello there. I keep seeing people saying hi, and hello to all of you in the chat there. So some new paint. We're wondering if this is something that is going to come alive. There's been no signage saying that, at least not on our past visits. They are working away. So this is the lined island. If you've watched our past like tip videos, I always say kind of like from here on, a lot of times find easier seating and better deals. So we've got the barbecue there, $7 wine, $5 shots as well. ATM for anybody needing a B of A over there. And that's where we've got the Grand Horton Hotel across the way. If you're a first-time attendee, you might not know, but Horton Plaza in general is just gone, and that used to be a fun spot. Some of the comic shop, movie theaters and stuff. We're here at Blarney Stone. Again, some of that additional outside seating. One thing we've seen questions about with the scooters, if you Google San Diego like scooters or e-scooters or Bird, etc., you'll see more about the rules, but a lot has changed, at least to us, from our last Comic-Con visit. We don't see anywhere near the amount of the e-scooters whipping around anywhere. In fact, the other day we were walking the entire length of the convention center behind and didn't see one. So they have very specific parking now. There's very specific penalties for companies. The city has downsized it to only, I believe, 4 companies last I read that are even allowed to have it. So probably not going to see as many of those as in the past. Gaslamp specials here. We've got our pizza shop. I know we've come down this way a few times for food ourselves. So this, I believe, is what is allowed, but again, it costs additional, but it's ADA compliant, no roof, no lighting. I think that's what the city is okay with. But I know I've seen a lot comment that they wish the city would have allowed it to go through Comic-Con to have the additional seating. And I concur. What hotel will Fun Days be at? The Manchester Hyatt. We're actually going down there to do some other video stuff today, but it returns there unless something's changed that I didn't see. Volcano Rabbit, Tequila Bar and Crafts. They are, yeah, actually they're reshaping inside as well.
What's that?
Lefty's Cheesesteaks is there. The Spot, whatever was next to it, gone. No problem. Mike's Place, award-winning sandwiches. And feel free to throw in the chat, or if you're watching later, in the comments of any of these places that you're like, yeah, that's a must place to check out, because we've been to a bunch of these, but definitely not all of them. And some of them it's been many years, so. Cuban Cigar Factory is open. Taka Sushi is a go. And then Saltwater. Saltwater. We've got Havana, Chigon, San Diego Trading Company, all open. And then now we're getting to the, obviously we can go on a long way here, but we'll start kind of wrapping up here. Barley Mash remains as well. And you can see more of those. We will be doing more updates from the other streets as well, but we know 5th is the one that we get the most questions on. We'll check out 6th and 4th, and the plan is to be scouring all of those over the next couple weeks. We did get some really cool off-site news today that we are not going to get anybody in trouble and say, but for people that are worried about, like, will companies be there? It was new and exciting. We got new and exciting info last week on an offsite, so I really think there's a lot coming this year, and I think it should be a good year for offsites in terms of the companies there. I think it'll be a good year on the floor. I think it'll be a good year in general. There's a question, Fox Sports Grill, it is closed over at the Bayfront. Unfortunately, it is no longer there. They had replaced over there, and they put like a grab and go for, I think that was in 2019, which was pretty efficient. And so I don't know if they'll use something like that again. I know on the SDCC unofficial blog tomorrow night, they are having some of the heads of the Hilton Bayfront on to talk about Comic-Con 2022. So I know I'm very curious to hear what's accessible myself. So they might talk about that right there. You might want to head over there and throw that into the chat and see if they have any ideas on what may happen there. I think grab and go stuff's going to be really important this year. And Spaghetti Factory is still there. We went by that one a little bit earlier as well. Still there. So we've got, I don't know, 5, 6 other videos up on the YouTube channel there. A couple of them focused on food. So if that's a specific interest and you haven't checked them out yet, please check them out, share them. We'll be back at 4 p.m. today, Pacific time, to talk about the day in San Diego, some of the things we found, some tips, and some things coming up for Comic-Con 2022, okay? We'll wrap up there. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.